All right, it's all come down to this 16-7 in favor of ATK on Inferno. The Bad News Bears take Nuke 16-8, and now we're on to Overpass, the decider. The Bad News Bears win the knife round, and they pick CT side as you would expect. Here we go. The winner here will finally take this BO3 after many pauses and tech issues, but Truth is going to get that opener over on Momo. 5v4 and back and forth action. In fact, it's turned into a 3v3 and chance for the Bad News Bears to deny the plant with Shake finding one, but missed him, strikes right on back towards Spongy. 2v2, Pluto circling around towards Pillar, and he gets both! They overlooked him completely, has missed him, and MOTM go down.
That's disgusting from Pluto. What a read and what a play. Walks through that smoke towards short, comes in behind. It's both with 2 rounds and just perfectly played there by Pluto. Bad News Bears hang on to the B site. The Glocks are unable to come up with a pistol round. No bomb plant either. 3 nades for the side of ATK. Now it's a full pie from the Bad News Bears. And it should be a 2-0 start unless the nades stack and pay some massive dividends. And I think they're just going to use their nades out towards probably jump up or boost. And their nade from Bad News Bears did about 3 damage each.
Yeah, nothing really doing on both sides there in terms of the nades, but utility spent now for ATK. They didn't walk into this round with much at all, of course, since they lost the previous one on a pretty much full-on eco, aside from MOTM buying up the P250. I should say a full-on save. Swan is going to pop his head out, and he gets domed down to 62, so ATK perhaps a chance, but I think there's just too much firepower on the other end here.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's no realistic way ATK can win this round, even if they do get a couple, and Shake's just come in for the mop-up job. Pluto's got one as well. Bad News Bears 2-0 up. Clean round as well. Gonna be a full buy from ATK, though. But Bad News Bears should have, I think, enough to be able to win this round with the MP9s, regardless of that fact. I would expect some to be in towards Con, maybe a B short play as well. Just try and close the gap with the MP9s, play a close tight angle, let the M4s hold a longer range duel on A, and just use these weapons to their full strength. Swan going out towards Fountain 10s and a nade, which does not really much at all. But ATK, I don't think they're comfortable right now. Fady spots a jump, but Spongy out towards Monster Tunnel. They end up going B is going to be someone who's hard to clear out. But ATK right now just defaulting around that map. Pretty standard 3-1-1.
Yeah, Overpass one of those maps where a bonus round can pan out pretty well if you play those close angles, especially towards Monster, right? But Truth is going to get the opener onto Pluto. 5v4 in favor of ATK, and Fady's going to poke his head around Sandbag. Momo, speaking of those close range angles, could do the damage here if he peeks at the right time or is patient enough, one of the two. And Momo, well, actually decides to fall off of this one. Fady's just posting himself up and likely waiting for his teammates to come around. There's Spongy down for the count. 2 frags for Fady. The rotation's almost certainly going to come around now towards B from both sides. And now Momo is Fady's next victim. 2K for him on the round, and the Bad News Bears completely out of position now. Should be an easy plan for ATK towards the B site.
Patience is a virtue. Fady definitely exemplified it there. And ATK, they played their picks. They sweated out Bad News Bears. They got a little aggressive. They got a little antsy. They got punished for it, knocked down every single time. Shake trying to get the AK out of the hands of Missed him. Comes down to whether or not he clears that corner. Missed him, though. Will not be outdone. Gets himself a nice kill as well. Swan, I think he'll have to be content with saving a FAMAS into the next round. His teammates should be able to buy 1,400 loss. Pluto and Shake will be more than fine. It's Spongy and Momo who are a little bit of a concern.
Yeah.
And if this FAMAS falls here, as Mistim is hunting out towards long, look at the backstab timing on it. Now Bad News Bears have a decision to make. Whether they want to force back into this one or play it a little more safe and go for a half buy.
Yeah, I think it's going to be half buy. I'd be shocked if they went for a force in this situation, given that everyone is below the 4K mark except for Shake. And yeah, it will be a half buy. You got a Deagle, a P250, a couple of P250s, maybe even just a full-on save from Swan and Shake. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised Shake is full saving too, considering he has the most money. But he'll probably have the op tossed over to Swan, and they'll want a little more economy, maybe even opt for a double op setup or an AUG. Ooh, that's messy there by Pluto, and well, he actually
That's
will have a trade there.
Yeah, that's a really good flashbang turn from Swan, and Momo's gonna try and retrieve the AK and does. Fady does manage to drop Spongy, and the bomb gonna be recovered very quickly here by Truth, who had to double back to despawn. But yeah, B site's been completely taken. ATK have the bomb plant, and the Bad News Bears, I think they should just be content with this AK. Keep Momo away from the action. Maybe try to get Swan and Shake in a position to get an upgrade to a rifle. But outside of that, this round was a throwaway for the Bad News Bears. Anyway, so ATK is gonna tie this one up at 2-2. And just looking at the stats here for ATK, they, haven't played Overpass with this iteration of the roster just yet. But if you look at their stats on Overpass, it is 8 games played, 2 wins, 6 losses, and a minus 14 round differential. So based on that, not looking too great for them. But again, that's without Truth and Bowden in the mix. Over on the Bad News Bears side, we do have a slightly bigger sample size to build off of. They have the reps there. All 3 times was played in the Super League. 2 wins, 1 loss, and a +7 round differential. Their wins came against Third Impact and Nemesis, and the loss against RBG. But every single one, if I recall correctly, was quite close.
Yeah, Overpass is another great Shake Zula map, much like Nuke. We do have a timeout here. I'm pr- It is a technical by ATK. I was about to say I'm praying that it's attack, but it is not as indeed a technical. But going back to that Super League game for Bad News
Yeah,
Bears against RBG, Overpass, it really was a map where I think things opened up for BNB a little bit, and Swan was able to get a little more comfortable with everything, and it enabled Bad News Bears to do a little more. But I think the addition of Momo has been something that has changed the overall scope of this Bad News Bears team. He adds a lot more firepower. He's another player that can hold down angles as well on the CT side. So it's not just the spongy show when it comes to anchoring a site. Momo can do it as well. And it's added another depth of ability in the Bad News Bears roster that I think they were lacking up until that point. So the
yeah.
addition of Momo has really been great for them.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt about it. And I think one thing that Shake is really good at is adapting to the strengths of the roster that he has at his disposal. And, I think that the style of play will change a little bit given the pieces that they picked up. But it still will eventually shape up well. A Shakespeare roster takes some time to develop. And fact of the matter is, if they can come out with a win here in their opening match, that's already a great kickoff for, like I said, Shake doesn't typically able to get that practice regimen underway with so little time.
Yeah, there's definitely something to be said about time in the server as well and time growing as a
Yeah.
team. But the familiarity that Shake and Spongy already have, as well as Shake and Swan, I think is a big boost to them as well. But over on the ATK side, if they do lose this match, then they had a good start against Third Impact, but ATK might have some gremlins growing where they're having a little trouble finishing off close games. And we know what that third map was like against Third Impact. It went to 4 overtimes. So
Yep.
ATK did struggle heavily in finishing off that map too, and actually battled back from the brink of defeat multiple times
Hmm.
before they were able to close it out.
Yeah, I think they were down something like 11-4. Well, no, I don't know if it was that extreme, but
I
uh, yeah.
I don't think it was that bad. I think there was a 14-6 though.
Yes, that's it. That was 14-6 they were down by. It was a pretty crazy comeback for ATK, and then of course winning it in quadruple overtime. But yeah, this one has just been riddled with technical issues, unfortunately. So we're still waiting to find out exactly what is going down. No word yet. But again, this was called by
Interesting.
ATK. And the good news is, Austin, that it was called before the round started. So a match medic would not be required in this situation.
Yeah, that's a very good thing. It lowers our overall delay time significantly. But what the actual issue is, still have no idea. But if you guys are just joining us and wondering, wow, this game's taken a while. We've had a lot of technical issues, including a CSGO update that dropped about 3 hours yeah, 3 hours ago now, a little under 3 hours ago, which kind of sent everything into a bit of a downward spiral, messed everything up, and has kind of been plaguing us throughout the night. But as it stands now, those first two maps, they can almost be forgotten. It all comes down to this one now. Both teams holding their serve in a sense by winning their map pick very comfortably. It's it's coming down to a tiebreak situation. And on a map like Overpass, it's going to come down to the Oppers. And I have not seen the explosive firepower from Bowden that I got to see against Third Impact. It has not been there. And you contrast that with Swan, who's been able to heat up more and more consistently throughout the course of this series. I think it flips the advantage into Bad News Bears' favor.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, look, we have to acknowledge the fact that both of these rosters have just been put together. So I think that's what made this match so interesting, right? Because ATK just getting two new additions changes the entire complexion of their roster. The Bad News Bears the same, right? Even more so because they had three new players added to the roster, not necessarily by their choice. And let's talk about that a little bit because the Bad News Bears lost Swisher and B Wills, who left for the Orgulus
Hmm.
project, and that appears to be paying dividends for those two players as that's going pretty well. Junior left for Extra Salt, which is now Complexity. He's playing in Europe and really happy for him because he absolutely deserves that. And then they picked
Yeah.
up Swan, Pluto, and Momo, as we mentioned earlier. So, yeah, just a lot of changes on both sides, which makes these types of matchups very difficult to predict as to how they're going to pan out. But as it stands, the Bad News Bears impressed us on Nuke. Their T side 11-4. Look, that's just very tough to come back from for any team. I've seen it done before, but ATK just didn't have it in them to kind of complete that comeback. Even though they came off with a really hot start in the second half, it just wasn't meant to be.
No, it wasn't. Bad News Bears gave themselves the best possible chance to win, and they finished it off. They didn't let things get too close. They held things on, and they never really allowed ATK to get fully back into the game because in the big moments when ATK had the momentum swings in their fingertips, it was snatched away by big plays by the likes of Spongy and Momo. So for ATK, they weren't allowed to really play their game for too long either. Bad News Bears recovered well. And we do have a stalemate early on, but we've seen a similar scoreline like this back on Inferno. It was a bit more wide open on Nuke, but I don't think we're going to see too much in terms
Mhm.
of a spread in the early going on this map. I think we'll be a little more tightly contested throughout.
Yeah, I mean, it would be great to see, of course, a tightly contested map between the two squads since we didn't necessarily get that consistently, like you said, on either Inferno or Nuke. It ended up being one team kind of running away with it at the end of the day, even though it doesn't really feel like that, right? Because of all the pauses, you kind of don't really get a sense for the flow of the game. But here, on to Overpass. It's been back and forth, 2 rounds for BNB, two for ATK, and ATK trying to continue that run on their T side. Again, Overpass, a CT sided map, not as much as Nuke, of course, but it's just so easy to rotate back and forth from both the A and the B site that it gives the CTs a decided edge. So you really have to be on point, even more so than other maps with that utility. And the smokes, do not use them too early because they are extremely important in taking either site. So, here we go. Looks like everything has been resolved, tied up 2-2, and the buy-ups are going to come through once more for ATK and the Bad News Bears.
Well, I can't wait to see how this one eventually ends. It's definitely been a marathon of a series so far. And again, if you look at the scores, you'd be wondering, well, why? It's been a lot of pauses, a lot of issues. Let's see. Hopefully, this is the last one of this matchup. 2-2 the scoreline, round number 5 of the final map of this best of 3. Here in ESL Challenger League Season 40, North American version. Swan has his weapon of choice, his magic wand. No AWP for Bowden to counter with. ATK going for a B-heavy default here. A couple players in con perhaps going for a split, but they'll slow things down, at least in the con side of things, and group up for a 5-man push towards Monster or Sewers, perhaps. There's 3 players here to receive the kick from Bad News Bears. Momo is one of those, and he has definitely had a massive performance. Mistum's lurk needs to be crucial to draw rotation away, or things are going to be very difficult for ATK once they eventually hit this site.
MOTM and Fade are going to go for the boost here. Obviously, MOTM going to be targeting the Toxic Barrels position, looking to clear it out. We get the visibility onto the site. What a nade toss, and the Molotov as well. Fady and MOTM go down to only 14 HP combined. Shake through the wall, gets Fady. Oh my goodness, a utility clinic put on by the Bad News Bears, and 2 ATK members are limping into the latter part of this round.
Limping And I would say perhaps crawling on hands and knees at this
Oof.
point. There is no health left. Mistim's also over, taken down quite low. Spongy, uncharacteristic miss on that first shot. Momo, however, will clean up the mess, leaving it all down to Mistim, still lurking. And Swan does not seem aware of the possibility that the player who took out his counterpart up towards A could still be lurking in the vicinity. So this is still winnable for Mistim, although the time is definitely not on his side. If he gets one kill out of this, I think that'll be enough. And Swan now has the idea perhaps he's either coming up the stairwell or even all the way from A. And I don't think Mistim will get too much. Oh, he spotted the gun barrel. He knows at least one more player is around. That's a good economic damage kill there for Mistim. And an op into his hands for Bowden to the next round. And plenty of money overall for ATK to reinvest.
That's just such a good job with the nades and the Molotovs and the Bad News Bears. I'm not sure if they got an info hop or something or realized what was going down, but you have to imagine some sort of information was there to get that utility thrown, and that was pretty much the round. Momo had a pretty easy clean on the players that were coming through. In fact, the first two frags he got was against the higher HP players, and then at the end it was the last two low HP players going down for the count. Actually, only one of them, right? Because there was the op save through into this one. Either way, look, great job by the Bad News Bears to respond. Excuse me. Respond after losing two in a row. And now ATK will still be on a buy-up, but there's a wicked shot from Swan. He was pushing up aggressively for that fountain peak and connected for the frag.
And that's what you want to see from Swan if you're Bad News Bears. That's what you want to see from Swan if you're Sheikh Zula. And this is exactly what you want to see from Spongy, being a nuisance, coming in behind. He had Momo with him too. A lot of confidence with that guy holding near 6. 2 picks for Bad News Bears. Finally traded back by Truth, who does eliminate Momo. Nice little spray through the smoke and the wall of Nectar. But ATK still have a tall mountain to climb to get back into this round. I like Pluto's position outside long as well. It's going to be hard for Bowden to clear him out. And there's still a 2-2 setup here for Bad News Bears. They're not gambling any sight. They're holding the line. They're playing the odds. And Bad News Bears have some pretty high odds of taking this round. Although Shake getting a little antsy, might even move up towards A. But I think Spongy, with that shot, should get into this game, into this map, and be able to do his usual anchor role to perfection.
Yeah, ATK going to go for the execute towards the B side at this point. 33 seconds left. It has to come here. Spongy going to toss an nade. Is that going to do damage? No, it doesn't connect. ATK decide not to commit after that smoke is thrown. And, well, to their advantage at this point. And with only 22 seconds left, they have to make a move now. Spongy, despite the fact that he was blinded, almost takes down Bowden. And now he will go down himself. Bowden finds 1-2. And look at this, 2v2 and a chance. They only had 20 seconds left on the execute, but made everything work. Pluto going to move his way through the squeaky door, and I like the move by MOTM to leave the site and look towards construction, or water, I should say. MOTM sees the player, gets the frag, and ATK could take this. They're trying to steal it from out under the noses of the Bad News Bears, and Swan, his position exposed, might have to just call for the save at this point, and he absolutely is. What a play by ATK.
Oh my gosh. The fact ATK are able to claw this round back into their favor is nothing short of incredible. A fast bust onto B works out for them in the end. No real margin for error there. They had to be flawless. They had to take everything perfectly, and they achieved that in spades. ATK draw level again at 3 apiece, and the money for Bad News Bears has run dry. Yeah, they have an op in the hands of Swan, but it's going to have to be the hero op. It's going to have to be the massive play that pushes them over the line. And Swan, can he do everything for his team in this round? Yeah, there's a Deagle, there's a Zeus, and there's a CZ, but it's the op that all the pressure rests on. Meanwhile, ATK are starting to feel a little frisky and a little free. They're going to rush out onto B. In comes the MAC-10. He spots out one, but he tunnel visions on the Momo. The Zeus actually strikes for 1. Beatty has traded back. Beatty runs into Spongy. That is a messy duel, but it is traded back. However, a costly round for ATK. And Swan should still be allowed to save that off.
I think that Fady wants that one back. Suffice to say, that was not the best of engagements for him. That said, the Bad News Bears just on an eco here. Swan, who brought the op into this round from the previous one, probably just going to want to save that one forward. And Pluto, well, he's waiting for a potential exit frag. That's assuming that ATK decide to go to water. Could happen. But either way, it will be ATK coming out with a 4th round victory. And the Bad News Bears, well, they will bring a full-on buy up into the next round here, Austin.
Yeah, they'll have a full buy. They'll still have the op for Swan. I don't think they'll go for a double op, although they technically could. I don't think they need to go for that kind of an investment as of right now. They're still holding okay with rifles. I think they got caught off guard once, and ATK were able to break the economy off of the back of that. But as it stands now, moving forward into this round, Bad News Bears really do need to stop the bleeding here. They need to get back on the board. ATK cannot be allowed to get more than 6 rounds out of this half, and I would say for Bad News Bears, you want to keep them to 5. Because Bowden on the CT side, you have no idea what he's capable of. MOTM has been on fire throughout. Truth has also been a big player. Now Mistim is starting to frag. He had a bit of a quiet performance over the first 2, but now he's heating up. The nade stack does so much for ATK. Bad News Bears also get quite a bit of damage with the MOTM. But this 5v5 stalemate still seems to be heading towards B. And Spongy will take even a little more nade damage, but did he just get a dink on the fadeaway there?
I think so. All right. Well, ATK do get first blood onto Pluto, but the HP is messy for both sides. Mista makes it a 2-man advantage, though. Swan is down. A site exposed and free for the taking. The Bad News Bears, given the HP situation and the positioning, they might already be calling for the save to come through, especially with Fady spotting out Spongy. Now it's tough, though, because where do you go? Fady's covering Canal, and the Bad News Bears know the bomb's been planted at the A site, so they're probably going to have to face off with someone here on ATK just to keep these guns.
Yeah, granted, these two players are very low, so perhaps it could be guns into the hands of Bad News Bears, or AKs in that sense, but they can still get the kills here, these low HP players, and Fady will do just that, spraying down Momo. Shake, he's turtling up on side, but there's 3 players now hounding on his position. It does not look like he'll last for long, and, well, he'll get 1 for his troubles, but only 1. Truth will trade that back, surf into the sewers in the end. And ETK take a 5th with style. They put Bad News Bears back onto a half as well again. Swan with plenty of cash. Maybe he'll distribute that in the form of pistols to his teammates. But we have a timeout called. And I'm hoping it is a technical. Okay, it's a normal tactical pause. It's a tactical timeout. Nobody panicked, except for maybe the Bad News Bears, which is why they're calling the timeout.
Yeah, they want to talk things over here because ATK, I mean, ever since that round where it was down to 25 seconds, I believe, Bad News Bears had the advantage in terms of manpower, and ATK just pushed their way through with some perfectly timed utility, and then just an unfortunate situation. I think it was for Spongy, who sprayed through the smoke and took Bowden down to 12 HP. Didn't finish him off, though, because he was fully flashed. He had no idea. And then Bowden comes out and gets a kill on top of everything else and is part of the surviving members in the round. So, you know, that's just how it goes sometimes, and it's really given ATK a lot to work with, and they have gone up to 5 rounds on the board. It could be 6 here with the Bad News Bears onto an Eco, 3 Deagles, P250, and a 5.7 coming through. A little bit of utility as well, and a good trade, at least, for the Bad News Bears, because Fady gets 1, and Momo comes right back with a Deagle headshot and upgrades himself to an AK. I think off of that, though, ATK are going to try and adjust towards A, but Swan connects with a headshot of his own on MOTM and does go down for the count, but at least the trades are coming through here for the Bad News Bears.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of damage, and there's still even a chance to pull this one off. Spongy been taken down low and finally finished off. Momo finds nothing with the AK as well. Shake with a Deagle, trying to get at least 1 more kill. Picks up the AK from the cold dead hands of Momo. And let's see if Shake can do anything from this situation. Might even just try and save the AK, which would be a wise choice. That does seem to be his game plan here. Maybe play for an exit in toward Stairwell, but for the most part, I think Shake's just trying to hold on to the Kalashnikov, take it into the next round, but a 6th will be conceded to ATK nonetheless. Already 6 rounds on the T side of Overpass, and it's been Mistim, it's been Truth, it's been Fady that have been the catalysts overall for ATK. Yep. They haven't had to rely on Bowden and MOTM, which is a very good sign for them, because we know how consistent those guys are, and if everyone starts performing to peak level for ATK, they should have no problems closing out this map of Overpass. That said, there's still a long way to go, and Bad News Bears are back on a bye.
Bad News Bears, as you mentioned, going to bring the rifles to bear into this round. No pun actually intended there. It just happened. But the Bad News Bears are sending 3 players towards the B site, and 2 go into pit. And it looks like they're going to pass up on throwing the smoke for Monster, surprisingly. So that gives a lot of visibility for ATK to know if a player's gone in towards Canal. Now a flashbang is going to come through, and I imagine the smoke a little bit late, but I was going to say better late than never, but Feedy's already managed to sneak through, but he does go down. Spongy also found MOTM while being flashed, so that will give the Bad News Bears the 2-man edge.
Good clean start for the B&B squad, but we've seen ATK battle back from a numerical disadvantage before. We've seen them execute perfectly under high pressure situations, and they're going to try to do so again. Missed him clearing out towards bathrooms. Pluto outside, keeping an eye on both bathrooms and lane. Does not have Swan watching his definite back. He's keeping an eye on long. Missed him. He needs to get this opening kill into Pluto. It's going to come down to timing. Pluto looks back and forth. The timing will avail. Missed him. Does he clear the right angle? Bowden as well, clearing up from lane. The smoke will reveal the position of one, and Missed him will swing for it. Perfectly timed. Did he spot Swan? No, he did not, however. Swan caught the elbow of Missed him, and he will not be denied a 2-piece. Looking for the third. It's going to be Truth in a 1v4. Time on his side. Health, maybe not so much. Swan still around. A nade was out in for Truth. He almost forgot the opera was on site. The spray connects, but his health is low. He can pick up the op, though, and try and win this 1v2 once that bomb goes down.
I'm surprised that plant is seeded to ATK, and Swan had an opportunity to take down Truth. As you mentioned, he had the utility in his hands, and Momo misses him as well. You can't keep giving Truth this many opportunities, especially considering how well he's played tonight. Finally, he does go down, though. Spongy spraying him down with the AK, and a 4th round, a scary one, but a 4th round secured here for the Bad News Bears.
Yeah, it was a messy round for the Bad News Bears, but a round nonetheless, and a round they desperately needed. I mean, without that, ATK would have gotten a 7th. Bad News Bears would have been broke again. All their momentum, everything would have been against them. ATK now have to reinvest. Bowden is not going for the AWP. He's sticking on the AK here, interestingly enough. And as we continue forth in this one, we have not really seen Swan take too many aggressive angles with his op either, which is surprising to me. Perhaps a little afraid of Bowden's op on the counterpart. I don't know exactly what the reasoning is. Maybe Swan just wants to play a little more passive, a little more comfortable. But you normally see people get a little more aggressive on Overpass with that op when you have the opportunity to do so. We haven't seen that from B&B yet. B hold is going to have to be huge from B&B. There's 3 players towards A. This has to be a Spongy play. It has to be Momo shining, and Spongy's gone without anything. Momo around the pillar in the smoke, trying to stay alive, but he's found as well. ATK swarm onto B, and Bad News Bears have to make a split-second decision to stay or go. And I think go is their call.
Yeah, I mean, no, Momo was going to be sneaky in that situation. I think ATK saw him go into the smoke, and the Bad News Bears, they've pulled the plug, like you mentioned. They want nothing more to do with this round. They are going to just fall back and save the 3 rifles, one of those rifles being, of course, an AWP. And ATK, though, on their T side, will run up to 7 rounds.
7 rounds on T side Overpass is no small feat. There's still enough time to even get an 8th, 9th, possibly even a 10th or 11th round for ATK. I think the latter 2 would be a stretch, but an 8 is definitely well within the realm of possibility. Even a 9th for ATK is definitely achievable. There's only 4 rounds to go to end this half. ATK put themselves in a prime spot to be able to take this half with confidence. I think Swan needs to go aggro. I think he needs to be activated.
Well,
he needs to shut this down.
Yeah, I mean, he was aggro in that one round. I think the Bad News won the round when he was aggressive towards Fountain, and there he goes again. He's going to try and get that peek from Party. A little bit late jumping up because he missed the jump, but he's just posting up, and luckily for him, ATK weren't really forcing the issue. Now, a lot of connections happening through that wall. The spam connecting on MOTM and Truth, and Shake continues to try and get some more, but nothing doing as of now in terms of frags at the very least. Spongy hoping to connect on something on his end too. Pretty slow pace though to open things up aside from those spams coming through the smoke.
It's a very slow round, although the initial nade damage goes the way of Bad News Bears very heavily. know if it's necessarily going to deter ATK from doing anything. They've played from situations like this before, and they've shown good success. And I'm thinking back to Fady getting some kills from low HP as well. Flashbang goes in, Bowden clears. Pluto holding in long bath, but I don't think they're going to go all the way and clear Pluto out of position. Swan still on site, has his sight set towards lane. Molotov goes through, but Fady on the lurk has been found out, but missed him, catches Swan, looking the wrong way. And a big response comes through from ATK. Pluto, however, is on the flank. Are they going to be ready? Truth is, and he might have been hit. He is not going to be defeated. Health is low on Momo as well. He's down
They're
to
going to
12.
save.
4v3. If only they knew the health of ATK, John, I think they would go for this, but of course, information we have and they don't.
Oh, man. I honestly, not necessarily a huge fan of the saves being called here with three and
I
4
agree.
situations both times. Probably could have tried for something. I understand, CT side economy. You don't want to let it get out of hand. And given the fact that well, 4 or 5 players are in a bit of a tough spot economically, they want to make sure they have a full-on buy in the next round. It makes sense, but you're kind of slowly but surely moving your way to the full loss bonus, so I don't know. Anyway, Shake's going to take down Mistim on the exit, but all 3 of the other players for ATK will survive. And speaking of economy, well, it's looking amazing for ATK. Bowden at 15K, Truth at 13, and Fady, MOTM, and Mistim, all 3 of them above the 5K mark, and they might even stay there after buying up.
It looks like they will, and we have a timeout. Looks to be a tactical by Bad News Bears. As they should in this situation. They need to find a way back into this game, and they need to find it now. They are running out of racetrack here in the final map of a BO3. And for Bad News Bears, their options are quickly becoming more and more limited. ATK with free reign for the most part. And again, they have not relied on Bowden or MOTM for basically the vast majority of this matchup. The one kill I remember from Bowden was one of the openers onto that B side take. I believe it was 3-2 scoreline in favor of Bad News Bears. And that was the round that completely flipped the momentum back to ATK.
Yes.
But other than that, I don't really remember Bowden having too much involvement at all. In fact, he's only having 5 deaths. He hasn't really seen too many people, considering we're on round number 13. But that kill alone might have had the most important impact in this entire game, depending on how this unfolds.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's a good sign for ATK that they don't necessarily need to rely on a crazy performance from Bowden or even MOTM, who, by the way, I saw his girlfriend come into the chat, confirm that he was having ISP issues, disconnect, reconnects constantly 3 times. His internet died out, so kind of makes sense. A little more context for all the technical issues just happens sometimes, right? Your internet has problems, and you can't really contribute as much as you like to. I think it's just frustrating for yourself and probably for everyone. But it seems like things have been sorted now, and look at Fady go. He's going to drop Spongy 5v4 in favor of ATK. 55 seconds left on the clock, but the Bad News Bears don't get a trade. And now the B site is kind of exposed. Rotations aren't going to come through just yet. And Fady, who's been very good at poking and prodding towards this B site, you saw him at Sandbags a few rounds ago, just finding frag after frag. And this time, the space has been opened up. Truth going to come through, likely going to engage with Momo, who's pushed all the way up. Did he spot him? Oh, he did! And he takes him down, as well as missed him finding Pluto. That means ATK will have all the space in the world to go wherever they want. And man, they have got the Bad News Bears just kind of singing to their tune, right? Because the Bad News Bears rotate a player around to the B site. I think Swan is also going there, and now they go towards A to get this plant. Well done.
Yeah, ATK are definitely playing Bad News Bears like a fiddle. And the thing is, too, Bad News Bears are getting the early damage. They're getting the nade damage dealt onto ATK, but it doesn't even matter because ATK, they still have 5 alive again. Shake might get 1 here, not even that. Fady shuts him down. Swan going to try and save the op, but he now knows Fady's in the vicinity, and Fady is going to be hunting for him. This is just getting worse and worse for Bad News Bears. 1 kill goes the way of Swan, but can he be able to survive here? And not so sure with this. Okay, we're back for a second or 2. And Swan's not. He's gone. 9 rounds on the board for ATK to the 4 of Bad News Bears. Again, 11 rounds are possible for ATK on the T side of Overpass. And I can't tell you the last time I saw an 11-4 half or even a 10-5 half on T side Overpass in Challenger League.
Yeah. All right, what is happening now? All right. I think this might be a potential GoTV issue, but hey, look, we're going to figure that one out. Let's talk about ATK. They're up to 9 now. This T side is proving to be a little too much for the Bad News Bears to deal with. That round in particular was just so tough for the Bad News Bears. Fady found that opening frag. They worked their way into the B site, took all the B presents out and said, you know what? We're just going to rotate around to A while the Bad News Bears try to reinforce a B site that we're not even going to be on. So yeah, great work from ATK as we're just going to get back into that server and see what's going to happen at the remainder of that half. But honestly, I haven't seen much from Bad News Bears on their CT side.
No, I saw some good signs from them in the first couple of rounds. In fact,